Well, good morning, good afternoon, good day, or good night, whatever time of day it is for you. But it's 10:06 here on Tuesday, the 14th of April. And spring has definitely sprung in Annapolis Valley. Is somebody going across the crosswalk? No. Just wanted to be a little cautious of that person maybe going across the crosswalk, but everything was, I guess they was going to school. But like I say, spring has definitely sprung in the Annapolis Valley. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's 12 degrees Celsius. That's, that's a big jump from minus 20. So we'll take it. Oh, that house finally sold. That house has been for sale most of the fall and winter. I looked at it all last fall, dreaming of what I could do with it with Halloween and Christmas lights. I think that's just kind of how I look at things. That's how I look at stuff now, is through the eyes of Christmas and Halloween decorations. I don't know, keeps it fun at least. And Bridgetown, just as busy as ever. Don't let all the cars on Main Street here fool you. This is really about the only parking in town. So we kind of got to figure something out in Bridgetown with parking. There's not a whole lot of options, but when it comes for like River Days or Canada Day or anything like that, the town just kind of gets congested. Makes it quite hard to navigate. Or to find any kind of parking where your vehicle's not stuck out in the middle of the road like a store thumb, waiting to get whacked. But yeah, I'm just kind of taken back with the weather this morning. It's such a drastic difference. Even yesterday, I had a wood fire going yesterday. There hasn't been a whole lot going on. The weekend was somewhat nice, but I've had to stay a little bit closer to home than I normally would. Well, I won't say normally would, but than I would have liked to right now with, I guess, spring breaking. But it's kind of been nice because, Cooper hasn't been doing very well. Our 13-year-old senior golden retriever. He's last week he really, all right over the course of an evening into the next day, when we woke up, he was very lame, could barely walk. Had a lot of trouble getting the legs. Like after a step, he'd have trouble getting his left leg in particular back up and underneath of him to kind of take for a new step, and it was somewhat resembling like a nerve pain or a slipped disc. And when the vet did her assessment on him, it really gave all the indicators that he had a nerve pain or a slipped disc or something that was causing him an extreme amount of discomfort and pain in his back and down his backside. But we monitored him there over on some medication, some stuff to make him comfortable, and he was all right. But the next day, on Saturday, we decided, I believe it was, that he needed a little bit extra, a little bit something else. He was able to be comfortable and sleep, and the panting, like the signs of pain, had kind of subsided, but he still wasn't willing. He wasn't willing to eat, so there was still something going on there, some discomfort, and we got a muscle relaxer for him to go along with the pain medication, and that really made a world of difference. He really calmed down, and when he would sleep, the panting, the fast breathing, even when he was sleeping before, just on the painkiller, he had a kind of a rapid breath, and you could tell that he was sleeping. He was sleeping because of the drowsiness of the painkiller, not necessarily because of any kind of relief or comfort. But now that we introduced the muscle relaxer for him over the next 2 days, when I talk about a world of difference, and not even, I think it did exactly what the vet was hoping that it was going to do. I think whatever was going on in his back or his spine with the nerve or the disc, I don't think it completely fixed, but the muscle relaxer allowed his body to relax enough and his muscles to relax that I think things kind of somewhat went back into the way they're supposed to be, instead of being held into the pain, through the pain. Once your body is in pain and you're constricted and kind of putting yourself into positions you normally wouldn't, just because it's more comfortable than the other, like it kind of your problems really start to compound on each other. So I'm very relieved that everything seemed to do exactly as the vet wanted, and within the first day he was trying to be way more active than what we wanted. So it was really a struggle to kind of keep him not confined, but just, we had some rain over the weekend, so that was a little bit nice. Allowed to keep him inside, allowed to get him just kind of, took the edge off, made him just kind of docile, want to sleep anyway. So that was kind of nice. Instead of it being beautiful sunny days and not being able to do anything, it was just kind of the weather that he would be normally inside sleeping anyway. So, but what a difference it made into Sunday and Monday. Like Sunday, he was, like I say, we had to kind of pull the reins in on him, just make sure that he wasn't, if you turned your back on him or went into the other room, he'd try to get himself up on the couch, which, all the power to you if you can do it, but at that time you're trying to rest and relax him, and he doesn't need to be crawling up onto a coach that is just going to set him back. So that was the first kind of little sign that everything was coming around. He was starting to show signs of himself, and then when he started helping himself into his sister's bowl and eating Abby's food before Abby would get to it, because I think Abby was a little bit out of sorts with just, well, she'd see you administering the medicine and making just the double checks, and then him not being himself and not being able to get up and kind of struggling a bit. She is a protector, and it's very obvious that we're all her pack. When either Bria or myself, when any of us have anything going on, she's very much right by her side. And she was no different with Cooper. And kind of resorted to not wanting to really eat. So it was kind of a nice... We've always had trouble kind of keeping him out of her food because she's got large breed puppy food. And he's on, like a somewhat restricted diet for an elderly dog or a senior dog. And it was just kind of one of those moments where it's like, yeah, he's helping himself to her food, and you're just kind of happy to see it happen. So once that happened, I think we all kind of breathed a little sigh of relief, and he's slowly getting back to his old ways. But yeah, it definitely let us know whereabouts we are in amongst his journey. And it just kind of confirmed some of the things from this winter of the drastic slowdown. Because it was quite a drastic slowdown from how he had normally lived his life to what this winter became for Cooper. It was a lot of just going through the motions for him. And it was a challenging winter, but I think just the extra amount of snowpack that we had, and the fact that it stayed and became so hard, and like hard for him to kind of navigate, like after mid-January, I can probably count on my hands the amount of times that he willings, like on his own, just ventured into the backyard where there would have been like more substantial snow drifts and whatnot. We got for walks and stuff, but it became glaringly obvious to me that his walks and Abby's walks are gonna look dramatically different going ahead, but there's still a lot of quality of life there. He's still very playful. It's just, and the reality of it was we went for a nice walk the day before, and the next morning he was quite sore, and now we're aware of an issue or possibly an injury that never really reared its head, but we've known that there's arthritis in his back, that it's become, it's gotten a little bit, it's come on over the last year or so. But this winter was definitely an eye-opener. And I'm just going to have to be a lot more cautious of his activities going forward, which kind of breaks my heart. But we've been down this road before. It looks a little bit different than when it was with his older brother. It was that was very sudden, and we very much knew that we were on a ticking clock. But with Cooper, it's just we're going to have to be smart, make smart decisions, be smart with how we spend our time, not try to overdo it with some of the stuff that's going to cost us better days in the future. Make each day count without costing a day. And I think that's just where his days and Abby's days might be a little bit different. And And it might be a little bit better for me going in the future, because it means that maybe in the future, instead of doing one walk with the dogs, now it's probably going to mean that I'm doing 2 walks in a day. And I did that before when his brother was sick. It was I ended up having to take Cooper for his walks, and I had to take his brother for his walks, and they were drastically different. But you know, it's a part of their life that you got to keep going. They've got to have a purpose, just like we need to have a purpose. They have to have a purpose. And although I might not be taking him for a walk here this evening or this afternoon, those are probably still, I really don't know. I really wasn't expecting him to bounce back this fast, to be honest with you, but we're going to have to be in contact with the vet regarding what and for how long we can do. You know, you got to keep him exercised. We can't just throw the towel in. I mean, he's not ready to throw the towel in, to be honest with you. There's still a lot of life and a lot of love in him. But we're gonna be smart about it. We'll ask the appropriate questions, and whether it's the response or the answer that we're looking for, that's just gonna have to be how it will be, for the best interest of Cooper. But I fear that me being able to share some of our adventures, and I don't know I don't know how much you'll see of Cooper on this channel anymore, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And that breaks my heart, because I like to put these videos out for people that can't get out and around anymore, people that would love to be here, or like I said, people just due to certain circumstances, they're just not able to be here or get out and around and do some of the drives that they normally would have done. Or maybe you're on the other side of the country, or you know, or maybe you're like me, you were stuck in a hospital bed for a few weeks, or even a month, or maybe half a year, and you want to take a trip down a road that used to be. And for me, that's somewhat why I've kind of ventured down this channel, was a way to treasure some of the memories going forward, some of the days that I'll never get back. And I realized that with our last dog, that sometimes pictures just don't cut it, and nothing really suits or can replace the ability to take yourself and put yourself right back in that moment and relive that entire memory. So part of this channel is for me, and part of it is for everybody else that finds any enjoyment in taking these drives or walks with me and my dogs, that might bring back a memory of a time gone past, or a companion that has gone by, or maybe you've grown up and you just, through your life, due to an illness or an allergy or life circumstances, you weren't able to have a pet or a companion like Jersey or Cooper or Abby or anybody, and kind of get to live vicariously through some of these, but other than I think some of the relaxing days at the lake, I don't know how much I'll be able to put him on here. And the facts are, I don't think an hour-long drive just for the sake of getting out and having some smells in the back of the Jeep are gonna be worth it for him anymore. Especially if they're gonna cause him some discomfort and pain bumping around on, you know. The reality of this Jeep is that it's not the smoothest ride. It's not a Cadillac. It's a Jeep. It's a nice Jeep. It's a newer Jeep, but they ride rough. They bounce. They bump. So we'll just have to figure some stuff out. And maybe it means I gotta dig out the old wagon. The old wagon that I have for Cooper's brother. And maybe we do our walks that way. But he'll still get out and around. Oh, where's this sunshine gone? The old sunshine's hiding away on me. It's blue skies to the west of us, and to the east of us, it's all just overcast and light clouds. So if you want me to keep you posted about how Cooper's doing in the future vlog, you know, these driving vlogs and stuff, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to keep anybody that's concerned about him or curious about him updated. And if I can sneak him into an adventure here, there, and everywhere, then we'll do it. But I'm not gonna put him through any kind of discomfort to drag out the length of an adventure or something like that so that I can slide him into camera. His well-being is worth more to me than, and no offense, but it's worth more to me than one of these videos. But with that being said, I'm gonna wind this video up here pretty soon. Wow, what do they got going on down here? Big construction down at the end of Annapolis. You can only imagine what this might possibly be. It could be a sewage or a plumbing fix, or it could be a real number of things. Oh, they finally got the wharf back open, thank goodness. That was horrible coming down here and they had the wharf all blocked off all the time.